before I go to final closing, let me go ahead and say this. Going back to the final quiz, both Andrew and Kenneth said that Brian was not diagnosed with anything. You guys are going to be quite surprised with this.
Aspergers.
Brian, what were you diagnosed with?
I was diagnosed with Aspergers, yes.
Oh, my God.
So he, too, has Asperger's like myself. You want to explain your story, Brian?
Yep. Basically, for a lot of my childhood, I was, of course, a game show fanatic, but I seemed to be having trouble with socializing with people. I always seemed to be in my own little world, and I would always try and bring people into that world, but I didn't seem interested. So I had a lot of struggles growing up, and it was not until about my either 10, 11, or 12 is when I was they made the diagnosis, and I still didn't understand what it was. In fact, even to this day, even though I know what it is, I don't even know really the whole extent of it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So now we know the story.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, Andrew, does that surprise you, though?
That kind of does surprise me, Brian, like you, I know it was tough for me because I wasn't diagnosed until I was about 17. When I was younger, they accidentally diagnosed me as having ADD. Because granted, I was also a game show fan. I never talked much to people, and
they also diagnosed you with what, Andrew?
With attention deficit disorder, or ADD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember if I was also diagnosed with ADD either, but I might have been diagnosed with ADHD because I know my sister has that, and so they thought it was genetic. So
yeah, or I think that was ADHD, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was about 17, right around my junior year of high school. So, and plus I know a friend of mine who had it as well, another close friend of mine who we were friends since elementary school, and then he moved right after we finished 7th grade.
Yeah. I mean, I was really lucky that they caught it as early as they did, because I know they usually don't catch it until, like you said, your late teens or early 20s. But
yeah.
I guess now with the research that they've done, they've been able to catch it earlier.
Right. Yeah. With all these methods.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Well, Beth's called back in, but before I bring her back in, I'll explain how Asperger's has affected me in case anybody has not heard about this before. I was not diagnosed with Asperger's until the 1st grade. My original 1st grade teacher, she saw something different in me, but she really couldn't understand it. So I was moved to the special needs class, and that's when the special needs teacher there said to my mother, he might have Asperger's. Of course, I was really interested in game shows, and of course, I would always be watching the credits. My mom has reminded me that at the end of every show, I would quiz everybody about who the executive producer was of that particular show that day and everything like that. I mean, that was like, whoa. I couldn't remember that at all, but, somehow we grow out of it. But then, of course, as I start meeting other people, like Beth, for instance, Beth herself has autism. And I'm going to let her explain how autism affects her. Beth, take it away, my friend.
Okay. So I was diagnosed with autism in 1995. That was while I was 3 years old. During that time, I was capable of saying only one word, and when I was 4 years old, I had only a 2-word vocabulary. Doctors also told my mother that I would never, ever be able to talk and that she would have to take up sign language in order to communicate with me. Can you believe that, guys? Now I can talk, and
look at how far you've come, Beth.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And you know what else?
What?
As the years progressed, I've learned to talk, and not only. But I've always had trouble with social interaction. You see, I don't talk to very many people. It still affects me in that way. Even though I do the best I can in life by going to college, by succeed, studying hard, trying to pay attention in class. I mean, I'm not as bad when it comes to social interaction as I used to be, but when I was a child, I had no friends when I was a child. But I didn't learn to actually socialize until I went into high school. The status is horrible here. I mean,
hold on just a second, Welch. Let me go ahead. Welch, it might be your phone. Let me go ahead and mute you for a second, so that way Beth can at least explain what she's talking about. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. No offense. I'm just wanting to be sure that everybody hears everything. That phone might be getting old because sometimes when things get old, then that's when they start to get staticky and everything. But Beth, what were you trying to say?
Did Matthew Lowe just cuss?
No, he didn't. I think he was trying to say okay, but he got muted right when he was trying to say something. I think so.
Oh well.
I'll bring him back in just a few minutes. So.
Okay.
But anyway, you were trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah, it affects how I socialize, my anxiety, how I perceive some certain things. My emotions are affected by my autism. It's hard for me to understand some certain emotions, such as love, for example. It's hard for me to I don't always feel loved. Even though I know I am loved, I don't always feel that way. And also, Michael, and
yes.
And the others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and to tell you the honest truth, it's still hard for me to comprehend the fact that there is a God above. I mean, it's just so hard for me to comprehend. And His love for me too, His love for us. Even though I know He's up there, it's just hard to have strong faith in that kind of thing. And
yeah.
I can understand it completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
I can, yeah, so.
Yes, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I think, my relationship with him isn't the strongest either. Even though I did get saved a little over a month ago, almost 2 months ago.
Congratulations.
Very good. Thank you.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you, guys.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, guys.
You're welcome. No. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, were you about to say something, Beth?
Yeah, so that's basically all I had to say about that.